Welcome back. In this video, we're going to expand on app data. We're going to learn how to work more with app data and how to set app data programmatically. All right. So I'm in the app builder in our demo application. In the previous video, we worked on initializing data in our application by simply going to the Visual States tab, Initial App Data tab, and then setting our initial data. When we saved and we refreshed the page, we then saw that the initial app data became our live app data. And then we dragged and dropped some elements on the page and we binded our app data to the elements on the page. And we used no code and code to basically show that you can do this one or two ways. We then had a bonus section where we dragged in an input element. We binded our input elements to the app data field, right? That referenced our elements. And then when we make updates, right? We then see that our updates are being binded and linked in real time, right? So in this video, we're going to programmatically set app data, right? And I'm just going to show you how to do it. And this is, really valuable for, scenarios where you want to perhaps get data from a backend database and you want to set that data to your, an element or to some field in your application. All right. So I'm going to just go over here to the functions tab, right? In this functions tab, I have lifecycle functions and I have my function builder. We are going to be working with the function builder. I'm going to go ahead and create a new function. I'm going to call that function update app data. I'm going to say this function updates app data. All right. So functions are something we haven't covered yet up to this point. We'll cover functions in future videos, but this is very straightforward. You could probably understand it by just watching this. I'm going to give it one workflow. I'm going to call this workflow logic. Add it. I'm going to set a few parameters, actually just a couple parameters. Let's call it field. And this is going to be the field in our app data. This is going to be a string. And I'm going to call this value. This is going to be our value. All right. And this is also going to be a string. All right. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a function step. All right. Now the name of the function that updates app data is called updates client app data. So by just simply, clicking on typing in update, you see 3 update methods. All right. We might not cover these extensively, but while I have them here, I'm just going to go ahead and just quickly go through them. Updates element app data is basically updating app data, but scoping that update to an individual element. So if you wanted some data to just be with an element and not exposed to any other elements, you would use this method, this function step. Updates client app data is basically the one that we're trying to use right now. And this is for updating the app data in our app. Now, updating parent app data, right, is used in a scenario where you have a web component and you use this within the web component to pass data back to a parent component. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and click on update client app data. It gives us this nice no code interface. I could quickly just select the field and I'm going to reference the parameter field. All right. And I'm going to reference the value. All right. So simply put, all we've done here is basically just set our application state, setting the field to a value. All right. It's that simple. I'm going to click on save. I'm going to deploy this function. Now that it's deployed, it's available for use. All right. So what I'm going to do here is this. I'm going to drag in a button. All right. So where is our, all right, there we go. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to add an event to this button. I'm going to call this events updates. All right, here's my function update app data. I am going to find my paragraph text one because that is the one that I would like to update. Close this out. Click on the parameters. Okay, I think this is not the correct function. Click on clear. App data. Update app data, update app data. Seems like I have two functions called update app data. Okay. All right. So it's my mistake. So this is the one that we are looking for. All right. I'm going to go ahead and paste my field, which is paragraph text one. And for the value, I'm going to use code. And I'm just going to make this a random value. I'm going to say math.random. If you are familiar with JavaScript, then you are very, very familiar with this method. All right. So whenever we click on this button, our paragraph text is updated with a random number. There you have it. If I click on it again, it changes. It changes. All right. So basically, you can think of this from the perspective of if you had a function that were to get data from an external data source, or maybe from a database, from an API call, right? You would then use your your updates client app data function to basically set your data to your app data. And then you can reference that from within your application. All right. So this is, a simple walkthrough of how to work with app data, how to set it. We wrote a function, and that function did a very simple task. All it did was, if given a field and a value, it sets that to our app data. And we've tested this out, and we've seen that every time we clicked on that field, our app data changes, and all our references that point to that app data field also reflect the change. All right, that's it for this video. See you in the next one.